Okay, this is the most important relationship tarot video I have ever made. It's probably not going to be popular, and I cannot wait to post this until my usual time. So here goes, and I might get cut off. But oh my God, I just had the biggest revelation today, and this connects psychology, like human psychology about masculine and feminine energies. This connects esoteric wisdom, and this connects intuitive insights if you believe in psychics, if you believe in guides. Like all of this is coming full circle, this message. Okay. If you have ever felt like you keep attracting the same situation in different people, or the connection starts out strong and then slowly falls apart, or there's like this continual dynamic where you feel like you keep attracting people that don't respect you, or like the narcissist, empath dynamic that everyone just throws around. Okay, there's actually a psychological pattern behind that. And I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of hearing people say, oh, just say affirmations to yourself 100 times, twirl around in the mirror 3 times, listen to subliminals. Like, that's kind of in a joking way. Like, no, like I do use those and they are helpful, I believe, but I'm just being dramatic because, no offense, that has not helped me. Therapy, no, these things have helped me. I've come a long way in my healing journey. And I want to be relatable to people who are watching me because honestly, that is how people communicate. That's how messages get through, right? Like, I'm not just up here preaching. I would never do that. But I just feel like this helped me understand something. And so I'm hoping it'll help you too. Okay, on to the message. Once you understand the psychological pattern, you cannot unsee it. At least I can't. And there's a way that you can break out of this, like forever. That's why I have the King of Swords here, because I did a shorts video like a month ago about the Karpman drama triangle. This is a concept in psychology about masculine and feminine energies and why unhealed masculine and feminine energies attract and repel one another and creates like this drama, even if one or both people do not want that. Like of course, when you're in a relationship or you're drawn to someone in the beginning, you think, oh, this might be the one, or I'm really into this person, you're excited, and then things start falling apart and you don't know why. Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you how to break free once and for all from this cycle. Okay. This has to do with how masculine and feminine energy becomes dysregulated in relationships and how that creates a loop that literally kills attraction because it kills the polarity of the masculine and feminine energies. So as someone who naturally sits in more feminine energy, when I'm unregulated, I don't just feel deeply, I actually start unconsciously creating relationship cycles that are the exact opposite of what I want. And this is what's actually happening psychologically. So one person feels something, that's usually the feminine. Because feminine energy wants to express in order to connect. So the feminine energy, they might express it, they might feel hurt, they might reach out to the masculine, try to connect because they're just trying to fix the problem, right? So on the masculine side, they might also be trying to fix the problem, but it's in the opposite way as the feminine, and that's why there's this clash. So the masculine energy, what they're trying to do is create safety, and they think to do that, they would have to pull back, go quiet, create space. So now the feminine energy feels that distance, and it triggers an abandonment wound. So the feminine pushes harder. They get more emotional. They start blaming the masculine. And that's the moment the masculine finally shuts down. And then you're stuck in this loop because there might be some silence and then you just start right back up again, right? So this is known as a pursuer withdrawer dynamic. If you're in twin flame circles, that's called the runner chaser dynamic, and that's so toxic. And here's the part no one explains. You're not chasing because you're too much or you're unhealed. Like, I'm so sick of hearing those words. I honestly just want to understand the psychology behind why. Okay, this is going over 3 minutes. I don't even care. I'm just going to keep going and make this a long form video. I just want to understand the psychology behind what are the mechanisms in my nervous system, in my brain, that are creating these behavioral patterns and reactions. And I do not want to hear that I need to heal myself. That's not an actionable bullet point I can write down on a piece of paper and take action on, right? So, and sorry, to those people that, I'm not saying anything, there's nothing wrong with that, because maybe you are the type of person that just picks up on like that overarching idea that's extremely abstract, and then you just know what to do. But for many people, including myself, who have been caught in trauma loops, who have experienced trauma, which I'm saying pretty much every human being has some form of trauma from living on this earth, okay? Like, life is not easy. So that's just one part of life. I'm not saying that's okay. Okay, back to the message. Okay, so what I realized is both the masculine and the feminine, they're both reacting from unregulated patterns. So this is where the finger pointing comes out. This is where we're pitting you versus them, like man versus woman, if we're talking about the biological sex, which I'm not in this video. I'm talking about energies. Okay, feminine energy, when it's unbalanced, it tries to create connection through more emotion, more expression, and more pursuit, hence the chasing. Masculine energy, when it's unbalanced, tries to create safety through distance, avoidance, and lack of clarity. And those two things trigger one another. And that's when it's really clicked for me, the correspondence to the tree of life in Kabbalah and esoteric traditions. So there are actually 3 pillars. The left side, the right side is called the pillar of mercy. This is the masculine energy, expansion, movement, flow. This is chakma. And I was always confused by that, because I'm like, isn't feminine energy, like I think of the Empress card, isn't that like expansion? Yes, it is. But it happens to be on the left side of the tree. And this is where it kind of gets really nuanced in tarot. And actually, tarot is supposed to be nuanced. But this is the part that makes sense to me. Okay, so the right side is the pillar of mercy. Okay, that's masculine. So that's expansion, movement, flow. Masculine energy wants to expand at all costs if they're not checked. What this means is the natural impulse of the masculine energy is to act with unbridled forward movement, meaning there's no boundaries. It's not that they don't want boundaries. Masculine energy actually deep down does want boundaries. And someone who is not mature may think they don't want boundaries, but they're going to get checked again and again in life until they reach that level of maturity and they realize that they've always it's like they didn't want boundaries, they needed them in order to achieve their full potential, okay? And the feminine actually has that as well in a different way. So, okay, I'm sorry, I'm just getting so excited because I'm just like, this is like blowing my mind. The left side of the tree is called the pillar of severity. So that's where the Binah, or the feminine energy, sits. That's in the 3rd Sephira. And that is where that's the Empress energy. But, okay, so that's all about structure, boundaries, and restriction. Because when the feminine energy is balanced, it does include having boundaries. And in the middle, because that's how the feminine energy feels safe, is through containers, through boundaries. And when a healthy masculine energy rises up to meet that feminine in her need for safety and boundaries, he becomes a protector, and that is the healed masculine energy. In order for the feminine to rise up into her balanced energy, she has to set boundaries. And a lot of times, I hear this all the time of like, why do I even have to set a boundary? Shouldn't they just know? And no, and I felt like that too. But no, that's actually not always the case. And you can call it spiritual growth, you can call it maturing in psychology, you can use any didactic you want to use. It's the same process. It's the same concept where in the middle, okay, I'm going to go back to the tree of life, because all of life is about balance. Every polarity is about balance. This is not just about masculine and feminine. This is about night and day. Like, I don't know. It's like someone just write in the comments all the polarities you can think of in life. But that we're living on a planet where balance is like the ultimate goal. Okay, I take that back. It's one of the ultimate goals to, if you want to thrive. Okay, I'll put it that way. Okay, so back to the message. So, okay, in the middle is the pillar of equilibrium on the tree of life. That's the balance point. So here's the truth most people don't realize, and I didn't realize. Expansion on the right masculine side without boundaries becomes chaos. And emotion on the left side, the feminine side, without structure becomes overwhelming. So when feminine energy is unregulated, it overexpresses, overgives, and overchases, removing structure from the connection. That's why the feminine needs to have a developed inner masculine if she wants a higher level connection. So when masculine energy is unregulated on the right side, it avoids, withdraws, and stays undefined, removing stability from the connection. And that's how the cycle feeds itself. So how do you break this? With the King of Swords. You analyze, you do research. I'm going to be honest, I did not go into the deep internet and look up the Karpman drama triangle psychological aspects, okay? I just had like a light bulb moment today, which is crazy. And I'll explain what my guide showed me in a second. So, okay. So how do you break this? So as a woman, you do not chase harder. You do not explain yourself. You do not wait forever either. You break it by regulating yourself, and you set a boundary with yourself and with your masculine, if you need to do that, that reflects your self-respect. This is the solar plexus. So this is not manipulation. This is a standard, okay? And as feminine energy, if you want to have a happy relationship, you have to have standards. Okay, someone could correct me in the comments if that statement was too pointed. Okay, because I know in every argument, okay, I'm a Libra, so every argument has like fractals and fractals of different perspectives, okay? Anyway, because the right person doesn't disappear when there's space, they step forward into that space, okay? So do not, I know it's going to be scary as women to step back if you have feelings or whatever, but you may have to do this if you feel like that space is needed, or if you don't feel respected. It's just natural, and it's what you need to do to keep your self-respect intact. The right person, you have to just trust this process. If it's the right person for you, they will understand what you're saying, and they're going to step up, okay? So, and I'm not saying there's a specific amount of time you should wait. I don't know that. That's not what I'm getting into, okay? And actually, you should not wait at all. I'm just saying, you have to trust that the right person will step up. Okay, moving on. So this is when the feminine stops asking, why do they keep doing this to me? Why do I keep attracting these people? And you start asking this question as a feminine energy: where am I participating in a pattern I'm ready to outgrow?